If you can, if you can own any animal, like any animal
Dragon.
Thanks, man.
ever
Dragon.
that actually existed,
They absolutely existed. You can't fucking call me out on that.
show me dragon bones. Show me
I
any
have a
discovery
lot
of
of,
dragon
I
or
have a
anything.
Literally
lot of
everywhere.
articles that I can show
Yes.
you.
Chase, I'm with you on this.
Dragons
Before-
existed.
before-
Dragons
bef-
existed.
Okay,
Before
anything other than
eight-
fucking
before
dragons. Make it
1875,
interesting.
before 1875, every single kind of dinosaur was called dragon. Look it up in every kind of form of history. Dinosaur
Before
is a
Why do you think there's so
1875, most
many
people lied about
paintings of
shit
them?
all the time.
Then how do dinosaurs even exist?
We found their bones.
Did you
And did
personally?
carbon dating.
Did you personally? Did you personally carbon date the bones of the dinosaurs?
Show me any dragon bones in a museum right now that you can go see, physically see.
If
That you can go
they
physically
did
see.
They
that,
can't. They
Adrian,
can't identify the wing bones because they would have been too hollow. They would have disintegrated with the earth. The physical form of the dragon. That's probably why they're misidentifying the dinosaurs.
Look at the bones of a bird, Adrian.
They can't.
Look at the-
They don't know
look at the
if
bones-
dinosaurs
look at the bones of, like,
had
prehistoric
scales
birds.
or not.
Look
They
at the
think
bones of
they could have
prehistoric
been
birds.
feathered. There's so much that we don't know about the dinosaurs, and I'm not saying dinosaurs didn't exist because they absolutely did, but I'm also saying dragons existed.
Are you?
Why is
are
there
you-
so
wait,
many
you're-
different
you're not-
mythology?
wait, Adrian. You don't believe in dragons?
Adrian.
I want to, but I just don't think there is enough evidence in the world to prove that they ever
Oh,
existed.
Literally,
every-
like thousands,
every-
millions of years of not millions, but like
In
so
media,
many
they're
decades.
awesome. Dragons are awesome. Everyone loves dragons, but
But
I
why
just
is
don't
there
think
so
there's
many
enough
different culture? Why is there
evidence.
like one unifying thing on every single culture where they would all paint cats and dragons? Every single one of them.
If you look at every single written history, they talk about dragons in some form of history. Literally,
Most
look it up.
religions and mythologies have so many similarities and things that are taken from one another that it's just saying that doesn't mean
Adrian's
Sure.
great grandson is going to say the Holocaust didn't exist.
no, because there is recorded history of that.
Now
There is a
Now
there is a
there is.
museum you can go to.
Now
There is a
there is.
whole place you can go to and see what
Now
was
there
happening
is.
there if you don't
And I'm
believe it
sure,
happened.
I'm sure, 500 years ago, there were the same kind of things going on.
The what was it called? The Great Library of Alexandria or whatever that burnt to the ground. It was in Rome or something where it had documents of everything that happened in the past, and that's what brought us into the Dark Ages because we lost essentially all of recorded history. They said we would be on a much different trajectory as
So
a
you're saying
society.
Auschwitz is just going to burn down and everyone's going to forget it happened?
No, that's not what we're saying. But we're saying that if
Then how would
like,
my
what,
kid forget?
what Gannon is saying, like
or
what
great-
if like
whatever.
an EMP attack hit and wiped everything off the map, and then like essentially as time goes on, we stopped like talking about the Holocaust because like he's saying, there's no recorded history of it for us to reference back to and see what happened in
There's
the 1900s
so
or
many
whatever.
different. There's so many different textbooks, pieces of text.
What if a
pieces of
freaking
physical
meteor? What if a
media.
meteor hits Earth and scorched Earth, and then the last living humans live in a bunker, and then they come out?
And what if your dick disappeared? You'd be a woman. What
are we
ifs?
talking- what
What
is
ifs
that?
don't explain
Whoa,
anything?
that's not
What-
very.
What if?
Whoa,
What ifs don't
Adrian.
explain anything? What if this? What if that? None
Well,
of that's
what-
happening.
No, I was
These
trying
are
to give you a
all
real. I was trying to give you a
hypotheticals.
real. I was trying to give you a real example of how history was actually wiped from our existence. All of recorded history burned down one time.
And it's
Like,
even
we
scarier.
have record of that, and then we went into the Dark Ages, and then we lost all of that recorded history. That,
it's even
that
scarier
had been
that-
documented.
It's even
Okay,
scarier
but
because
all of
physical
history
books,
was stored in one place. Do you think that's in 2024 all of history is contained in one physical place?
If like servers all crashed and get wiped,
You think there was one
if we
place
don't-
that has physical documents?
what if
of
we
this?
can't get? What if we can't get access to the World Wide Web at
Look
one
at
point?
look at schools
think-
nowadays, Adrian. Look at schools nowadays. You're in school, right?
Yes.
What do you do a lot of your what do you turn a lot of your work in on?
Canvas. There's still an entire library.
You're
There's-
lying to me.
You still get. You
A
can
lot
still
of
get
it
assigned.
is on computers. A lot of it's on computers.
Yeah. All
You
the
look at a lot of these
the
high schools,
assignments-
they
hold
give
on,
them
hold on.
tablets. They give them tablets. That's what they give them. A lot of these schools now are starting to give them tablets. And I'm not saying it'll be next week, Adrian, but give it
Tablets?
like 250 years.
Tablets.
But okay, so
Tablets.
That's now.
we have a whole side
Hold
of
on,
this
hold on.
country that are trying to ban and burn books right now. What are we talking about? What are they trying to accomplish, Adrian, with the book burning? They are trying
Adrian-
to erase history.
Adrian's going to be a boomer in 70 years. You give it 60 years, Adrian's going to be the new version of a boomer. He will be the new boomers. People will.
Hold on. Tablets. They give tablets out at school, and these are all the ones
They
that
do.
only that I've bought myself.
But they also have books.
not that I've
Adrian.
rented.
We're not trying to say that only tablets exist in schools, but they are going to a more digital age, which is fine. But we're also saying things
But
can
that
get
doesn't
wiped
mean
out.
that
Things
doesn't
can
mean
get
all
wiped out.
physical records and copies are just going to disappear, and that doesn't mean that they're all contained in one place. What if a meteor hits? A meteor would have to hit and destroy most countries, and if that happens, shit won't fucking matter. Civilization's just going to have to restart, or humans go extinct, and it won't even matter. So you're
Yeah,
what if
society will have to restart with no record of anything.
And
society would have to restart
with.
with like 1,000 people that probably won't survive. That
Well,
would
what if
probably
they
just
do?
be the end of humanity. If one meteor hits and it's
That's
just
a
like
quitter
one place
attitude.
takes damages and stuff, that doesn't mean physical records are just going to magically disappear from every other country that has any type of
It's going to
physical
scorch
print.
the earth. Everything, every touchable place on the earth is most likely going to get scorched.
Then humans
What-
go
what-
extinct. Then so your what
That's
if is
What does
what if
Doflamingo say?
They're in a bunker, Adrian.
And okay, not even that, not even like Holocaust theory, not even like, apocalyptic theory. What does Doflamingo say? He talks about how the people that win wars do what, Adrian?
They write history. It's
They
also in Modern
rewrite
Warfare.
history.
Shepard said it. The winners of the wars.
where are you
can
going
write
with this?
The history.
Where
I'm
are
saying
you going with this?
they rewrite history.
So they rewrote history and just wrote dragons out of it? What the fuck are you what is that? What do you to me?
Well,
I'm
I'm
just
not saying
saying-
they rewrote
I'm-
it for
I'm
like a
past the dragon.
conspiracy
I'm-
way.
It's a lost cause with the dragon thing, but I'm saying down
I'm trying
the
to see
road-
how all of this connects to dragons, dude.
dragons were real.
We're real. Let us know in the comments. Do you guys believe in dragons? Yes or no?
I want to believe, but I want evidence to exist is what it is. I want evidence to exist to prove that dragons are real.
I'll put a bunch of articles. I'll send them in the
Tyrannosaurus Rex, tiny arms, or possibly wings.
Okay. So what was this whole thing that you were talking about again?
Doesn't the
Yes.
anatomy of T-Rex kind of seem kind of strange to you?
It doesn't
No.
the anatomy of most prehistoric things seem fucking weird compared to what we have now?
Exactly.
Not
So-
exactly. A lot of them had like 4 legs. Velociraptors, they had proportional arms to their legs. But then you have these creatures, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tiny arms. Big head. Legs proportional to the body and their head, but with tiny arms. See? Call me.
Everything was weird back then though. Like
Well, that's what we're saying. Like, not everything made sense back in the day, so why couldn't the possibility of a dragon, with their bones being hollow enough for them to not be able to survive prehistoric records?
Because
And
none
then
of that's
we
been
start
actually
to-
proven.
Nothing's been proven. We don't know if dinosaurs had scales or not. We don't know if they had fur, because you can't tell with that stuff.
You know what we know? That they existed. We know
Yeah.
their sizes. We know their bone shape. We know likely what their muscle mass
But
was
we're
like.
always finding new species of dinosaurs, like, on a
What-
yearly basis.
what
we're
alien-
saying-
When
and
they
then
find dragon, I'll be happy.
And
But
then when they
it just
redefine the bone structures of certain dinosaurs, they reclassify them.
When do you go on your
what
next?
we're saying is, like, they could be calling a T-Rex a dragon for all we know, or they could be calling a dragon a T-Rex.
Because if dragons existed, it'd flip the axis of all modern things.
You know what this all sounds like to me? It sounds like you're trying to tell me, hey,
Read a book.
this orange
That's grass.
this orange actually used to be pink and taste like cherries. But like also we don't know that for sure, and like maybe that's true or not. Like, is it? Do we have proof of that or not?
That
Yes
was
or
a
no?
stomper. That was a real stomper. You got us
It's
there.
just, it's just like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Is there evidence or not? Yes
Well,
or
I
no?
mean, if we go back to the history of fruit, what did it start with one fruit and then it eventually evolved and branched off to different fruit? Just kind of like all other organisms on the planet. We all
Yeah.
kind of
And then they got
off
AIDS.
and divided.
Sorry.
It's a losing battle, Chase. Because it's like this. Hey! Hey!
What you're trying to sell me is maybe this existed. We don't know because this doesn't make sense. But none of that makes sense because we have proof of one thing and we don't have proof of anything. And you're trying to tell me the thing that has no proof is real despite having no proof, because maybe the proof we could have is something different.
It's written everywhere.
What, like, is it 2 + 2 4 or is it not 4? It's like, it's simple. Is the evidence there, or is the
He's
evidence
somebody
not
that
there?
needs like concrete evidence. I bet he
Yes.
doesn't believe Santa.
But even then,
Um,
like, the concrete evidence is secondhand through a screen of some form or a book, but it's like secondhand.
Take
I
that
will-
logic
if
a
you
step
want-
further, and
if you want
everything we know is
full-
secondhand. So what's real or not?
exactly.
Exactly.
Boom.
So we're all having fun.
Yeah.
There and now
I will.
now-
I will say, Adrian.
now I'm living paranoid.
The dragon. I think there's enough evidence
want
to
it to
say
be real.
dragons could have existed because of the cultural significance, how it touched every single like early civilization from the past. You know, there was always recorded documentation, drawings, poems, whatever the fuck.
What's the Chinese? What is it? They have them in all the restaurants, where it's like, I'm an ox, right? You know what I'm talking
The
about?
Chinese zodiac sign.
The Chinese zodiac sign. You got ox, chicken, rat, tiger, snake, dragon.
So because we have Chinese
Ox,
zodiacs, dragons existed.
He's just trying to say, like,
Well,
why
don't
would
you
it exist
don't you
in
believe in
Chinese
astrology?
culture?
Do you believe in astrology?
Do you know what's also been
Do you
things in
believe in
recorded
astrology?
history?
Don't
Beings
you
with
talk
multiple
about
arms,
astrology?
beings that are like 9 and 10
Do you
feet
not
tall.
believe in
like
aliens? Oh, hold on. You don't believe in aliens? Come on now.
That's one thing-
The probability of aliens existing has to happen.
with that, it has to be, or we are at a point
Hey,
in
Adrian,
time
it's a
where
young
You hit
Boomer.
the point. You hit the point, and then you
no,
went right
there's
back.
no evidence though. There's no evidence that they exist. You're trying to tell me that dragons exist with no evidence, just because we don't have evidence of aliens. To us, they don't exist. I want them. It's the same thing with dragons. I want them to exist because it's very believable. But Show me that alien anything. No? Okay.
It reminds me of something. And have fun with it. At
I
least
don't
have some
believe in
fun.
shit that doesn't exist.
Adrian, do you believe the One Piece is actually out there?
That's a fictional story. That doesn't make. Put me in the One Piece world,
It's
and
got-
yeah.
But that's the whole point of the story of One Piece. People don't believe it's real because no one's ever seen it, except for hearsay from Goldie Roger, right?
You're trying to compare a fictional world to reality.
It's
And
the
just-
messaging. It's the messaging.
The messaging is
One day I hope
something in a
Adrian-
fictional world compares to reality, and that's not true. Especially
It's
when
this-
in,
it's just a
nothing makes sense in that.
hypothetical. It's just a hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Adrian to
Obviously,
have-
the One Piece
Hypotheticals
isn't
are great.
real, but it might be real in the story of One Piece.
I want Adrian to have his Aragon moment where like he stumbles upon a dragon egg and then it becomes his friend.
Dude, I hope
That's how
so.
If
bad
I
Honestly-
stumble upon a dragon egg, I'll be like, yeah, dragons are fucking real.
What if it's just a big lizard egg?
Okay, so what if Ganon finds a dragon egg and then he posts a video of the dragon? Are you gonna believe it?
I'm gonna want to come fucking see it to make sure he's not fucking learning
So you're
video
not gonna
shit.
believe recorded evidence of a dragon?
No, we're gonna fly by
The
his
first
apartment.
ever recorded
He's gonna drop me
evidence-
on his balcony. I'm gonna
Anyone-
knock on his window and fly off.
Just think fucking rationally
For
for 2
months.
seconds. Take 2 seconds to critically think. The first ever recorded evidence of a dragon, and you think you're just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna want to go
Dude,
fucking see that to make
absolutely.
sure it's
Absolutely.
make
Macy.
sure it's not fucking fake.
Dragons
Just
are
like
real,
any
right?
able to-
any
I'm gonna
rational
tell-
person would be like, I need to see
Dragons,
this in person
real.
to actually believe that's
I'm
real.
gonna be able to tell if it's CGI or not.
Now we got-
I
we
can
got
tell
3
the
people.
difference between CGI and a dragon, like a real
You
dragon.
can tell the difference, but also I'm gonna want to come see it in fucking person because one, it's a dragon. 2, because I just need
Thank
to see
you.
it. I
Thank
just
you,
need
man.
to see it with my own.
Have you ever seen a physical brain?
That's a very different argument.
Have
there.
you? No. It is not a very different thing. Have you ever seen a? Because that's the point that you're making right now, Adrian. Have you ever seen a physical brain?
So you're telling
I
me
know-
brains don't exist? If I
No, I'm
if
not
I say
sa-
no, you're gonna tell me brains don't exist?
No, I'm just trying to
In your
take your
world.
point that you're trying to make and crush it because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
You're-
sense that I need
Because what
evidence
you're saying
needs
is
to exist.
what you're saying is you can
for
see
something to
you can
exist.
see video evidence of something existing and happening in the real world, but you will not believe it until you see it in person. That's your point?
Yeah, and I think any rational person would be like, yeah, that's just a dragon on video. That's fucking crazy. I need to see this in person. I feel like that's a rational response from any normal person. That's like, no way, dragon's real. I need to see this in person.
Yes, right now.
It's not.
but I'm
It's not a. It's not. It doesn't come from like disbelief. Like, no, this is a trick. It comes from like, this can't be real. I need to see this in person.
Because it's that exciting for you.
Because yes, it's a fucking dragon. If it's real, I want to fucking see that shit in person. If it's fucking real,
So-
yes, I want to see that shit in person.
When I say the first word, you say the next word that comes to mind. Komodo.
Dragon. It's the
Boom!
All right, guys.
that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Got your ass.
No, that doesn't make sense. Say that right now. Say that out. Say this out loud right now. Dragons exist because Komodo dragons exist. Say it out loud in the mirror and look at yourself.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get to my bathroom now.
Tell me if that
Did you open
just
up a can?
Yeah.
tell me if that makes
Komodo
even,
dragons exist because dragons exist.
and that didn't sound the slightest bit irrational or silly.
Sound is a bit irrational or silly. I live
Not
in
at all.
I live
That
in
was
my
like the
world.
most serious thing ever. Like that connection right there. That is all the evidence you need. You're telling me that
So
that's it.
Are you learning a lot in school? From your books?
Yeah.
Have you seen any physical evidence of these things you learn in your books?
Has physical evidence of a dragon ever existed?
Yes, we've said there's like so many different paintings and poems and
No.
documentation.
No. Physical evidence that a
what
dragon
physical-
existed.
I don't think video like
Because
existed
there's
back in
been
the
paintings
times.
of every single deity and every single mythology and religion. You're telling me all of those actually existed?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Just because there's a painting of it.
Why not?
I think it's
So if
different
I
because-
go-
I think it's different because it touched all these different civilizations, all these different society, all these different cultural like language barrier, like there's no way you can get past that, like common tongue. They all painted dragons.
Because all of civilization started from the same
No,
four
but this was at a
different
time
types
when
of
there were-
nomadic people.
There's different.
All
there's
of these
Chinese
mythologies
dragons.
and
There's
religions.
medieval dragons. There's like
Yes,
Japanese
all of-
dragons. There's so many different types of dragons, but they
There's
all
so
existed
many-
together.
There's
Kukulkan.
so many. This is the thing. I did take a
Tiamat.
mythology class in college. A lot of these stories of different mythologies, like different, like Greek, Roman, Hindu, all of these different stories of these, like, just the journeys of these deities. Not only are they all similar and follow the same pattern, they're all starting from different points in time. They're all influenced, starting from the same time when people were nomadic within the same small area. Within,
So,
like,
Mayan dragons and Chinese dragons influence each other in what way? Because you have
In the way
Kukulkan
that-
looks very similar to a traditional Chinese
in the
dragon.
way that the beliefs of all these people who were nomadic within, like, the Middle Eastern,
Okay, how are
traveling
they
between
getting how are they
Europe
getting
and Asia,
crossed?
the Bering Strait from Russia down into what is
But
now the United
why would
States.
there be like a cultural significance to include dragons? If it
Because
came
people
from
carried
when-
beliefs and stories and passed these stories on with time. You think nowadays we have phones and stuff to pass the time and shit.
But why
Back
would
then
why
they
couldn't it
told
have been
stories.
anything else? They probably told a billion other stories. Why did the dragons
Because-
stick so hard?
Everything it all started from the same type of belief, and it branched out as time went on and people told these stories. These same elements carried on within stories as these people split off into different areas and then
But
split
don't a
off
lot
into
of
different
people-
areas and then
but-
split off into different areas. There's elements that they kept within a lot of these beliefs, which is why there's so many similarities between so many different mythologies and religions around the world, is because people carried these stories and told these stories word of mouth, and it just, once we started recording these histories and these stories, that's what we had. But they all come from the same time frame of nomadic people, civilizations cropping up and starting and all that. It's actually
Okay.
very interesting to learn about mythologies in that way.
Sounds boring as all hell.